Hey everybody, what's going on? Juan here. Welcome to my first ever video after I've gone over a couple of changes right here on Epic JC. New videos available every Monday and Friday. Mondays, I post a discussion video, a video game review, and then on Fridays, I have the Game Vault. It's a series where I play those unplayed games as part of my PC gaming library. Every week, you're treated to a brand new game, 15 to 30 minute videos, and then at the end, I talk about that game, so make sure to check out the first episode where I talk about a perfect date. But for this video, I wanted to do something very different because everybody's putting out videos talking about the games they cannot wait to play but have yet to come out. While me, I'm just looking over here because there's a lot of good stuff in my PS2 collection and a lot of them I have not completed. For this video, I'll be presenting 5 games that I cannot wait to play in 2019 as part of my PS2 collection, and I challenge you to do the same, whether it's PS2, GameCube. Look at your game collection. You see a couple of games shedding some tears because you've played them maybe for a couple of minutes, but you've yet to experience them in its entirety. I challenge you to go to the comment section of this video and let me know at least 1 to 5 games from your retro collection that you're going to play in 2019. The games that I talk about in this video are not going to be presented in any particular order, but starting first we have The Lord of the Rings The Third Age. I first talked about this in my PS2 collection video because I had it but never played it. Played about 15 to 45 minutes of it, and I ended up loving the game because turns out this is Final Fantasy but set in the Lord of the Rings universe. And when I talk about Final Fantasy, I'm talking about the combat and the way that the game actually plays out because I am a really big fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I own, okay, that game just fell. And as I was saying, I'm a really big fan of the trilogy, and I love the Two Towers and the Return of the King. I love those games, and they're difficult and they're hack and slash. But I love the fact that they came out with this game that's available on the GameCube, the original Xbox, and the PS2. There's also a version out on the GBA, and apparently that one plays a little bit more like Final Fantasy Tactics, so the Final Fantasy influences are all over the place. This game came out in November 2004, an entire year after the Return of the King game, and it's a turn-based combat very similar to Final Fantasy X, and apparently it takes place throughout the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's non-canon because it does have some creative liberties where sometimes you play through parts that are completely unique to the video game, but then you have a couple of fight scenes that initially took place in the movie, but you don't play as Aragorn, Legolas, and the other main people in the game as far as I know, so they integrate these characters into those fight scenes. What I'm very excited to do as I play the game is revisiting these familiar locations like Helm's Deep in this entirely different combat style because I love the fact that you can change equipment. You do get to level up your characters, which means that there is some grinding involved if you want to continue progressing. And I know that as time has gone by, the random combat encounters are becoming a big no-no for some people, but I don't mind going back down to 2004, playing The Third Age, reliving the Lord of the Rings trilogy from a different perspective, and just getting a chance to experience this game that I love me some RPGs, but I didn't really know about it up until a couple of years ago. And in case you're contemplating playing this game for yourself, according to howlongtobeat.com, it takes 22 hours to complete the game. Now, before I talk about the next game, I do gotta point out that I'm not a big fighting game guy. I used to love fighting games growing up, and I play them casually now. For me, a fighting game now would be your Super Smash Brothers, and I know that's not considered a fighting game by some. I'm just saying it is for me because you do battle other people and people die and then they come back. So I'm just saying I like Street Fighter, I like Tekken, and I do like Mortal Kombat, and we are going to be getting a brand new Mortal Kombat game this year. So I thought, why not actually play a game that I feel often goes unrecognized? And this is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. This game came out in 2005 for the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2. And it's a beat-em-up game. And no, unlike Mythology Sub-Zero, this is actually a good game, and guess what? You can play it with up to 2 players in co-op mode. It's a beat-em-up game that came out an entire year after Mortal Kombat Deception and a year before Mortal Kombat Armageddon. In the game, you get to play as Liu Kang or Kung Lao, although you can also unlock other characters for your playthrough, and it takes place after the events of the first Mortal Kombat game and during the second one's story. As far as I know, the story's pretty simple. You gotta stop Shang Tsung from doing bad stuff, because that's what he does, so you travel through time to stop him, just like every other bad guy. So not a revolutionary story in any way whatsoever, but it's fun, it's got the combo mechanics, it's got the fatalities, so the things that you will love to go and play a Mortal Kombat game for are actually in this game. I used to rent it a couple of times as a kid, but never got around to finishing it. I actually played it as part of our Extra Life Marathon last year, where we played 24 hours in benefit of the Sana Jorge Children's Foundation. Can't wait to be doing that again this year, so mark your calendars, November, around that month. That's going to be happening again. So if you've played this game, let me know. And according to howlongtobeat.com, it takes 6 hours to complete Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. The next game is one I've been telling myself for years that I gotta play because everybody loves it so much, and considering other games that I love like the Zelda series, you'd figure I would have played this already, and the game that I'm talking about is Okami. And I first played this as part of my PS2 Collections video. I had it, had never played it before, and I think part of the reason is that because so many HD re-releases have come out since then, I just wasn't sure if I should play the PS2 one, considering that you can play it on the Wii, PS3, PS4, Nintendo Switch, on PC. So it was a situation of, I have you, I can play you, but there are better versions of you out there, so I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put you over here, buddy. You're still cool, you're still cool. And this is an absolutely beautiful game that originally came out in April 2006, and it gives you that The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time feel because of the way that everything plays out, from the dialogue to the way you unlock things as you play. I played about 45 minutes to an hour of this game in 2018, and I put it down because I knew that I wanted to experience it in high definition. And although the PS2 version kind of holds up, the performance in it is a little okay. It doesn't seem to run at 30 frames. And the fact that we have a PS4 Pro, we have a Nintendo Switch, we have a pretty beefy gaming PC. So if you have it, let me know which is the optimal and definitive way to play Okami. Oh, and I almost forgot, in case you're wondering how long it takes to beat, according to howlongtobeat.com, it takes 35.5 hours. So, damn, you are a long game. The next game that I have to play this year falls around the same situation as Okami, where it's so widely available, I want to play one of these higher definition versions. I beat Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time this year. I had played it back in the day, but never completed it. And another game that everybody's telling me, Juan, you've played San Andreas, you've played 4, you've played 5. In 2019, it's finally time to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City because I love the 80s and I love to play the Grand Theft Auto games, even though they're a little bit clunky, the shooting mechanics are not all that great, but I love to just go into those worlds, experience them, because they're the pioneers, they're the ones that revolutionized open world games as we know it. And even though this is sort of the first one that really kicked that into high gear, people say like, okay, this one laid the groundwork, but Vice City, that's the one that added the style, the personality, with the 80s theme, with the 80s soundtrack. I remember as a kid watching the commercials for Grand Theft Auto Vice City and just thinking to myself like, wow, that soundtrack is awesome. And in many ways, even though I've yet to play the game, I listen to a lot of 80s music thanks to the trailer for Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So Rockstar, why am I looking up like Rockstar died or something? They're still out there. Although I know that with Grand Theft Auto Online, Red Dead Online, people just keep saying, this is not the Rockstar that I grew up with. And who knows, maybe after Vice City, I'll be tackling some Bully. I guess that's an honorable mention because I never played it. People say it's pretty good. And Grand Theft Auto Vice City has an average beat time of 20 hours. And I just realized that we've been accidentally progressing through the video because with the first games, I am going to play the PS2 versions. With the other ones, I'm talking about getting the HD versions. But with the last game that I'm going to be talking about, I don't have it physically because I bought it when it was on sale on the PS4 because the last game is Dark Cloud 2. This game's available digitally via the PS2 to PS4 service. Bought it last year, haven't played it. Not surprising at all, right? The first game, the original Dark Cloud, came out in the year 2000. And I remember when I would go to EB Games, to Bobbage's, I would always look at the cover, but I never got around to playing the game. And when I eventually did want to play it, people kept telling me, the sequel came out, this came out in November 2012, and it was apparently much better than the first game. So I just kept holding out and holding out. Eventually I was going to buy it, never got around to it. It's been over a decade, and now I own it digitally on the PS4. And I've yet to play the game, so I can't talk about the story, but this is an action role-playing game that's been highly praised by a ton of people because of its customization, because of its apparently casual but good story. And I don't know if it's just me, but it gives me a bit of The Legend of Zelda vibe. I could be wrong about that. Also reminds me a little bit of Wild Arms 3 from a graphical standpoint, which is another game that I need to get around to playing. I gotta stop this. This is exactly what happens every single time. If you're like me, when you have too many games, when you go to Netflix, you want to watch something, you want to play something, but then you say, oh, I got to watch this, I got to play this, I got to play this, and I got to watch that. But if I don't watch this, then people are going to ask me, have you watched the latest episode? The answer is no, because there's so much to watch that eventually I end up watching and playing nothing. Throughout the year, I would hope that I come back at you here on the channel, especially if you hit that subscribe button, and I talk to you more about these games. Because right now, I'm doing a terrible job explaining Dark Cloud 2, but hopefully with the footage and with what I'm saying, the fact that this was developed by Level 5, a very popular studio, it's got an average beat time of 51 hours? I have a lot of gaming ahead of me in 2019, but maybe some of these will end up being played live over at twitch.tv/PressPauseTV. That's the Twitch channel where my wife and myself stream. Sometimes she plays, other times I do, others we play together, but those are the 5 PS2 games, and we had the honorable mention with Bully. So 5.5 PS2 games that I cannot wait to play this year in 2019. And I really want to know, when you look at your GameCube, your PS2, your original Xbox collection, what are some of the games that you cannot wait to play in 2019? And out of all of these, which one should I start out with? Because some of them, like Dark Cloud, take a while. Others don't take as much. So that's going to be doing it for this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Follow me on social media, EpicJC. Hopefully you're happy with what's to come in the channel. In the near future, I am going to be talking about the Flip Grip. This is a pretty cool device that you can play Nintendo Switch games vertically in handheld mode, like pinball games, classic games. So be on the lookout for that. So up until next time, never forget, folks, that this video has concluded, but based on the Game Vault and now this, there's plenty of gaming ahead, so the epic journey definitely continues. So thank you for watching, gang. Take care. 51 hours. That used to be a normal thing for me. But at the same time, I would only play like 1 or 2 games at the same time. And now, I do a little bit more than that. So I gotta go back to my old ways. I gotta get a time machine. And I need old Juan, or technically younger Juan, to teach current Juan how to do that.